Welcome to Lunchtime Politics, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in the nation's commercial nerve center, Lagos. I'm Jeffrey Uzama. Let's bring you up to speed with some of the big stories and the big happenings in politics and in the polity. Let's get you the headlines. Leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, declines opening defense in his terrorism trial, says there is no valid charge against him. Watching what happened earlier today in the Onyingbo area of Lagos, search and rescue efforts underway following the collapse of a two-story building in the early hours of today on Cole Street in Onyingbo on the Lagos mainland. Emergency responders, including officials from the National Emergency Management Agency, the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, the police, and the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service currently at the scene conducting rescue operations. Officials say that a number of persons have been rescued so far. The number had increased from the initial 13, 15, and now 21, and one body has been recovered. Now, the persons who have been rescued have sustained varying degrees of injuries and have been taken to FMC Butemeta General Hospital in Lagos Island.
Please hold on. The next time I told, then the woman.
I was here promptly when the thing happened. The noise of the building as it collapses was what aroused attention of everybody. And one thing about this building is that, to our surprise, the government has marked this building as a distressed building. There has been an inscription on this building as a distressed one. The present chairman of the local government said he's aware and he has made effort. But to our surprise, some callous wicked people scrub up the government inscription, and with the cooperation of all scrupulous agents, they rented this building to unwary tenants, which we are seeing, which has collapsed right now. It is not that, it is imminent that these buildings will collapse because it is a distressed building. And what we are seeing today should have been averted if the system had been working perfectly. This is what we are saying. This is what we are saying. This country, we need an attitudinal change. We need an attitudinal change. The government is aware that this building will collapse. They have notified, they are aware. What are they waiting for? Till today, that they have not bring down this building. Now that the damage is gone, lives are lost. Where do we go from here?
So that's what happened earlier today in the Onyingbo area. 21 rescued at the FMC at the moment, receiving medical attention. Sadly, one person's body was recovered. And these people that have been rescued include male, female, and I think 4 children, as at the last counts of the number of children. As soon as we get further updates, as the story is a developing story, we'll bring you up to speed with all of that. We just wish everybody safety out there. Let's move on now to what played out in court, where the leader of the proscribed separatist group, Indigenous People of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has shelved his earlier plan to call witnesses in his defense in his ongoing trial for alleged terrorism. The court had, on October 24, adjourned till October 27 for Kanu to open his defense. The IPOB leader had written the court, indicating that his intention to call witnesses and apply for witness summons. He also begged the court for time to study his case file. At the resumed hearing today, Kanu said he has gone through the case file and has realized there is no valid charge against him. He argued that since he is convinced that there is no valid charge against him and that he was subjected to unlawful trial, there will be no need for him to open any defense. Justice James Omotosho asked him to file a written address to that effect and serve the prosecution. The judge advised him to consult experts in criminal law on consequences of option of the option he has chosen. The judge thereafter adjourned till the 4th, 5th, and 6th of November for the adoption of the final written addresses based on the defendant's position that evidence led so far and the charge have not established any case against him or for the defendant to enter his defense. Of course, that's also a developing story. We can't wait to see how that plays out in the long run. But let's talk to you about the changes that happened a few days ago by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Tinubu, shuffling the Armed Forces. Now, the retired General Lucky Irabo has expressed strong confidence in the newly appointed service chiefs of President Bola Tinubu, describing them as seasoned professionals capable of protecting Nigeria's unity and territorial integrity. Speaking on Channels Television, General Irabo emphasized the need for deeper collaboration and synergy among the armed forces to ensure more cohesive and effective defense structure. They urged the new military leaders to build on existing frameworks, close operational gaps, and sustain trust across all branches of the military. The retired general also commended the immediate past service chiefs for their dedication, resilience, and service to national security, noting that their efforts laid the foundation for continued stability.
They've done wonderfully well. They've played their part. It must be understood that, if you become Chief of Defense Staff or a service chief, you also at some point become a former Chief of Defense Staff. But for the new ones, wonderful officers, these are incredible officers who know their honors. I believe that they will take to a greater high level where their predecessors have just stopped. I think they will do well. For them, I think that, especially for the CDS, because he's been in the system for the past, I'm talking about the leadership within the system for the past, almost a year, there'll be little or no adjustment to me, rather, for him to be able to upscale the trajectory of, operational activities. Processes need to be sustained, especially when the strategy is on the winning streak. It has to be sustained. And I think that that also credit goes to the Commander-in-Chief for finding, the person of the Chief of Army Staff to be elevated to the office of the Chief of Defense Staff. So I believe that with his knowledge, word of experience that he's had, that change and continuity, the challenges that we've had with change and continuity will be minimal, with him, given that he's already seized with the issues. All he needs to do is to come to grips with them and then run with it. So I can only advise that they should sustain, the spirit that they've always had, and to also look at the administration of the members of the armed forces to, have a good connection with the political strategic, for them to be able to close up whatever gap in understanding the problems of the challenges of the armed forces, for that gap to be closed up, because they actually need political support to be able to upscale the not just operational wins, but equally administrative wins of members of the armed forces. I do wish them well, and I believe that they're going to do well.
All right, let's get to the conversation for today. We're talking politics today. The PDP is gearing up for its all-important national convention. It's an elective convention, simply talking about new officials at the NWC and at other levels, especially the NWC, will be coming into the party. But that has not been without some huge controversy. As a matter of fact, some persons don't want it to hold for the reasons they've clearly stated. Others are agitating for certain positions, else they will leave the party. So it looks like the PDP hasn't left that murky waters. They want trouble for the lead opposition party, which between 2013 or so to today, they've lost, not by election, by defection, about 11 governors. The former Publicity Secretary and Chieftain of the PDP in Lagos State, Mr. Taufik, joins me. Taufik Gani is my guest. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So I'm going to layer the issues for you, but I want us to naturally start from what has been the most talked about conversation. Just your take as an opposition person, the change in the service chiefs. There are so many arguments about it. Remember, there was an allegation of a coup. The DHQ denied it. People said it actually did happen because certain persons were interrogated. They talked about the presser that was released by DHQ was a bit lame, not thought through because it was neither here nor there, but that is the position of the DHQ, but people disagreed with it. However, people are being interrogated. That's on one hand. And then not too long after, the president changed service chiefs. Some have said there's an ideological conflict between the CDS and the political leadership. So there's so many conjecture and so many arguments as to why. In fact, the ADC, which is another lead party, said the president should actually explain why the service chiefs were changed. But they said the president has the power to change service chiefs intermittently. What do you make of it?
There's no issue about whether the president has the power to change services, but this coincidence is too sharp for anybody to want to still deny that there was an attempt. I don't want to, emphasize that maybe a coup, but there was really an attempt, to show, maybe perhaps even by the service chiefs, to show that we're not getting the best and we are being maligned. And why are we not getting the best? Because somebody somewhere or group of persons are not giving us what we should use, and then why don't we get them, out of the way so that some other persons. It also presents that if that happens, God forbid, it means that
no, it will not happen.
Yes, God forbid.
I pray it doesn't happen.
I also pray that it doesn't happen because from my kid age and then students' days and the rest, I can tell you what I went through. In the military era, you understand? So, but God forbid, it's like saying that if we attempt it and it says through, it means that it can be popular. Because if you want to do something and you are able to do it, it means that you know that you will have the support. Now, what can make it popular? It means that people are so much disenchanted. And we don't need to lie about that. You see, there's a lot of issues. A lot of issues. The president, unfortunately, should not even be in this type of cocoon. But I don't know, the people who are closest to him, they are the ones acting the most and acting against him. I used to think that we would have more than the best opportunity now because you have a president that's been part of this struggle, part of the politicking, part of governance, and you have a son, biological son, you have a wife, you have a daughter. It's like this is the first time that Nigeria will be having a family presidency. Family presidency by blood, family presidency by associates. But most of these associates are the ones that I see that they are not harming the president, they are harming the nation. Okay, how can you imagine that you have a president that is supposed to be informed about even people who are working with you, and you have a lot of them who have certificate scandals and moral issues, a lot of illegality, and then you think that you can. So let's come back to it. The truth of the matter is that the change we pray that should improve, especially fighting the insecurity, but there was more to it. And we just hope that these persons will still not have that power to still influence those who are still in the service to still go ahead.
Great point you've raised. So let's come to your party. In fact, let's just segue in. The president has also been accused of playing a key role in destabilizing the other political parties, including the PDP, including the Labour Party, which are the ADC. In fact, it's like a hide-and-seek situation. The president has said, look, I have no hand in all of it. In fact, I see how you're fighting, doing whatever it is. I'm not going to help you. He said at the National Assembly, and he laughed it off. Do you believe the president or the APC has a role in, because your party is not out of the murky waters, no matter how hard you try to make it look? Or am I exaggerating the situation?
You're not exaggerating. Is it only about the political parties? Are you not looking at the different CSOs? Are you not looking at the agencies? Are you not looking even at armed groups where even in the Niger Delta, immediately APC came in with the style, they even divided the Niger Delta, the Boko Haram. You remember when even swap. So what I want to point out is that it is permissible to the extent that it is not unnecessarily to victimize individuals and groups. It is permissible because you ordinarily not want your opponent to be strong. You understand? So the APC has a good program about that, not wanting your opposition to be as strong. And if I were to be in their shoes, I would have done the same thing. Where it is very unfortunate is that they are very distracted. You see, what you should do is not to coerce people, is not to force people, is not to blackmail people, to destabilize their organizations, to bring them into your own party. What you should do rather is to make the ordinary voter, the electorate, to be so happy, to be so willing to vote for you. Because you see, as politicians, we deceive ourselves. Deceive ourselves because we think that we can get the vote of everybody. And that's not true. And until the president, I want to emphasize now, it is important that President Bola Tinubu should wash his hands off this popular notion now that he is destabilizing political parties.
Not only that, he tried to say that at the National Assembly. But
no. But everybody knows, and there are ready-made weapons. There are ready-made human beings. For instance, I want to say it, and people have been saying it. It's just that my own perspective can be that perhaps my own party, the PDP, should have used that bad side of the man as a good weapon to campaign, even for the party. And this is talking about the Minister of FCT. The Minister of FCT and myself, we were on the same page in towards the 2023 elections. You understand? Because I also believe that it should come to the South. You understand? And how the national, how the convention went about it. But you see, at the point, I knew that it was time for me to stop if I was not going to throw the baby away with the bathwater. But how do you now take advantage of even what Wike is doing? The FCT minister is perhaps now the best minister in the cabinet. I was in Abuja recently. My own cousins that would ordinarily don't want to support the APC told me that if Wike continues, they will vote for APC. You understand? So why don't you now let the whole world know that the man who is even giving APC the best image is even your own person, is your own member, and it's just because there's an issue, that is why he's on this side for now. And he has never, I give that to him, he has never said that he's a member of APC. As a matter of fact, you know that out of jealousy again, a lot of APC members are against Wike. He himself said it in one of the commissioning.
Without trying to stay on him, are you sure he's not against the run of play against him? Because on one hand, he's seen to be destabilizing the PDP because he's supporting the one thing I like about him is that you cannot second guess him. He's very clear with his thought.
Yes.
He says he's supporting the president, and there's nothing you can do about it.
But there's a moral issue there. Yeah. You cannot say that you are supporting the president. You understand? And to as far as even saying that in 2027, if the president will be contesting, you will support him, and you still remain a member of that political. So that is anti-party. Now that is another ballgame entirely, because why he's doing that and he's getting away with that is because perhaps there's nobody who is strong enough, who's got this charisma to fight him.
To the point where this is somehow Wike, yes, on Wike, the FCT minister, is one in this space now.
Yes.
How did the PDP, that used to be a national party, get to a point where individuals can now hold the party to ransom? Where did the failure start from? Because that's going to affect your convention.
It is definitely going to affect it. It is very unfortunate that we got to this stage. But you see, I think that I am praying very fervently. I'm praying that we are able to make good out of the convention 15, 16 as it is, if there won't be any court order, because I know that Omotosho J of the Federal High Court will be sitting on the 31st of this month, and God forbid.
Sorry, thank God you're a lawyer.
Yes.
In building that, I don't understand how you politicians, there's the law of politics and there's the politics of the law. Looks like that kind of back and forth situation. The Supreme Court. In fact, I remember the latest one, even if it's a debatable judgment, it's a contributory judgment in the Rivers case by, I think, Justice Chome Heme Nwosu, so, where they repeated again that when it comes to the issue of party leadership and membership, count the court out. Why, except it has to do with Section 84, Subsection 15, that has to do with nomination of party. You're a lawyer, so you understand this in way more than I do. How come we still have cases of leadership and membership finding its way into our courts? What is the premise?
It's really got nothing to do about the judicial process. It's just unfortunate that some judicial officers, you understand, will have allowed themselves to be the weapon in the hands of politicians. You understand? There are matters that can come before you and you just tell the parties that you don't have jurisdiction, you throw it out. But you see, I want to try not to speak specifically on these matters that are in court, but I say generally that it is the ruling party. I will say it again. It is still the ruling party. And unfortunately, when we say ruling party, it might not be at the national level again. Even at state levels, we find local government elections being conducted, you understand? And then at the end of the day, it's only the ruling party in that state that gets everything, destabilize all opposition.
Elections are the worst elections.
The worst, you understand? So let's talk generally. So all these court issues, you will be surprised. I want to tell you that on the 31st of October, the petition that has been written by the secretary of the party, Anyanwu, you understand, will have been well investigated. The speed with which we also expect that those who are in the cabinet today and have been alleged to have certificates, forgery issues and so many other issues, you understand, the speed at which we expect that they should be investigated, that has not been done. But because the PDP is a threat to the APC, you will see that in the next few days, that petition will have been investigated and will have been in support of Anyanwu that, yes, you did not sign that letter. And what will be the implication? It means that this convention has been prepared for will be invalid unless it is changed and new letters written. And you see, I think people should have some sort of decency. How can a secretary, Anyanwu, how can you, even if you did not, and that means that you have a hidden agenda, you are working out a script, even if you did not sign it. But I think he signed it, what I have seen and heard. But if you did not sign it, why should you come and embarrass the party and show for the first time, even more than some other persons, that you are the one who is holding down the party?
When I'm talking to politicians, especially maybe PDP or APC, I like to be explicit. Anyanwu is loyal to Nyesom Wike. It's not a hidden thing. There are people that are loyal to Atiku who have gone with Atiku. There are people that they are loyalty to Makinde. So I get surprised when people get surprised when people move politically. So it's very clear what is happening, where the court and all of that will decide. But I just wanted to posit that your NWC is one of the most confused and disorganized NWC.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. And that is why even while convention is being planned, while some other things are being planned, it doesn't mean that the opposition, especially as PDP, should not be vibrant in doing the work of the opposition. There are a lot of things happening in this government. You see, even if it's for the sake of to make the president have notice of these things, shout this thing out. You understand? Make people know. The cabinet is thinking. So with due regard.
So what is happening to the PDP and every other party is denying Nigerians the formidability of an opposition. Is that something you guys can fix?
Yeah, it is possible. And that's why I said I am praying fervently and I hope that we'll be able to take the advantage. Now, there are still a lot of great men in that party. Forget that we can, as it is now, we have one or two reservations. But it won't be because they do not have that charismatic leadership. You have even the Lamido that is contesting. You have Taminu. You understand? We have even McCarthy. The three of them are in the race now. You have in Lagos. You have Chief Olabode George. Up there you have Jerry Ghana. You have Jerry Ghana. We still have a lot of people who can come to it. But I think what is also missing is that people do not want to appreciate that President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, former President Ebele Jonathan, is very strategic to resolving the issues in the PDP. And there are a lot of things that you need to admit. You need to admit to the extent that you will even go, if it is possible, to even prostrate. But you see, let me want to be ordinary about this. But I'm serious. You see, a lot of things happened that led to the loss of the presidency by President Goodluck Jonathan. That I think that Nigerians, and especially those who were part of it, should begin to pray for forgiveness of their sins. It's not just that they will see President Goodluck Jonathan at a function and they will be saying that yes, it is true, we lied against you, we did this, all this Boko Haram, you see, in Africa we will say that you have spilled blood, some innocent blood. So this might continue to persist in this country You understand? Unless some things are taken, that is like maybe giving hints to our pastors, the general overseers. They should do a specific prayer session in this direction. No, it is true. It is true. Okay. So for the PDP to resolve, it is also important for the PDP to also arrange a national prayer session. But politically, people must know that if you don't want to be a member of PDP, leave the party. If you want to be a member of PDP, you must be there 100%, so that we can all sit together and do opposition.
As we begin to wind down, my director is saying we have not much time left. I was speaking to a politician who said that the whole idea, the plan against the PDP is to incubate it such that if party is not careful, you may not have a presidential candidate. Is that a fair assessment of what is happening?
No, it might be possible, but we are not going to allow it. Some of us will not allow it. Some of us will even begin to fight officers. Some of them will be voted out in the convention, but some of them may remain. We'll begin to fight it, because I cannot see a situation where you have very good things to campaign with. As we sit today, the Federal Executive Council has a Minister of Interior whose allegation, there's an allegation against him that he has forged his certificate. That's an allegation. NYSC certificate. Yes, it's an allegation. So but the good thing about him is that, let me tell you the good thing about him. He has tactically and brilliantly not said anything, unlike Inaji, who quickly set out a lot of aids, who probably now escalated the issue. We'll leave that to the court. No, because for somebody like me, it's an embarrassment. How can we have the likes of Keyamo, the Attorney General, and then they are sitting with somebody who has an allegation, and then tomorrow you say Transparency International is talking rubbish about. Some people will see, recently I heard that some actions because of this matter will be taken that can destroy the image of the party. In fact, they are going to court for another of mandamus. It is not good. So people should let President Tinubu know. President Tinubu may not know. That's why I'm surprised that Sheyi is there. All these people are there. They are grassroots people. Even the wife is there. Let this person know that, see, we have to be decent.
Mr. Taufik, we'll bring you back. Interesting conversation. Taufik Gani is a former publicity secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State. We'll talk about Lagos PDP maybe next time.
Yeah, very well. We're ready.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzonga. You've been served on Lunchtime Politics.